Yo, welcome back to the Red or Blue Pill channel, people. Thank you for returning subscribers and members. What we do here, if you are new, is we react to the most disturbing and creepy videos from the internet and we go through the latest. If you like what you see, don't forget to sub up, turn on the notifications, let me know your thoughts in the comments section. With that being said, let's roll.
Video is for entertainment purposes only.
What in the world is going on? A mile-wide underwater volcano is ready to blow its top off the west coast. This is allegedly on CNN. I mean, you literally see it right on the TV screen, right? Not that I need to say that, but for this app, TikTok, I'll say that. In the coming months, causing 10,000 earthquakes in one day. Y'all, and completely unrelated and irrelevant, read this headline. Read it. CNN. Read it. Again. Pause it. Pause it. Read it. The Washington Post. And all of a sudden lately, we're having earthquakes where we don't normally get earthquakes. North and South Carolina, Tennessee, Texas, all over the place. Unrelated, by the way. At the same time, we have scientists talking about the Earth's core going in reverse and what they call a pole shift on the way. Unrelated. Just showing you cool things I think are cool. This has been a very exciting year. Let me know what you think below.
A very low-key way of explaining that there's going to be a mile-wide earthquake under the water.
Trump has just recently announced that they're going to be reopening Alcatraz jail, one of the most notorious jails in America. Now, what's crazy is that Trump is getting slandered worldwide because he made a claim that nobody has ever broken out of Alcatraz jail, even though it's worldwide famous that these three people here literally broke out of Alcatraz jail in 1962. But what if Trump was actually telling us truth in plain sight and he didn't actually make a mistake by saying that nobody has ever escaped from Alcatraz jail? You see, the photo at the top is the three people that actually escaped from Alcatraz jail, and the three people at the bottom are the three people that went to the moon. But I ain't saying nothing. Let's just watch these faces of the people that broke out of Alcatraz jail and the three people that went to the moon. Let's just see the emerges of these faces and let me know in the comments if you think there's any resemblances. Because maybe Trump was telling the truth. Nobody's ever broke out of Alcatraz jail. And let's just ask the question, where did they get the three people that literally went to the moon? How did they pick these people that lied to the world? But obviously, for the sensory reasons of the algorithm police, guys, please don't take this to heart. I am just a satire account, just talking about Trump and the comments he's made recently. I'm as fictional as a dinosaur, baby.
The face fits. You can't say they don't. And what Trump says as well just adds fuel to that conspiracy that's been going around for a while now.
I didn't see a ship 19 miles away. I saw a ship that was so close, and they said at the time it was less than 9 miles away. Now they're trying to say it was 19. I saw it. You know, it wasn't just lights on the horizon. You could see it was a ship. And I saw our rockets being fired, which that ship must have seen. This inquiry says that they did see it, but they didn't think it was a portent of danger. But I would have thought in the middle of the Atlantic, in the middle of the night, rockets must mean trouble. The whole thing was a tribute to man's arrogance. The man can be so arrogant as to build something and claim that it is undestroyable, if you like. It's the most arrogant thing. And as I say, all these years later, this interest is profound. And it's because there was no need for anyone to die. No one should have died. Had she had enough lifeboats with 2.5 hours and a very smooth sea, nobody would have died. And one life is worth more than a whole ship, sure. That is what I saw. That is what I remember.
Yeah, I've heard conspiracies on Titanic, but that's a new one. Never heard about another ship being there. So look into that.
I don't know what the fuck light that is in the sky. This nigga talk about it's an alien. Look, it's another one, nigga. Look, it's a second one. It just popped up out of nowhere.
Cause it's alien. Now come on.
Man, I need to make sure I get this. Motherfucker need to see this.
Is this some aliens do what the fuck the aliens do? We're not ready to talk no shit. Come on.
I'm ready to talk to them.
Look, besides, if they do come down, they ain't gonna talk to us. They're gonna talk to the military. So come on.
What in the UFO is going on there, people?
Fuck Macron. Fuck all globalists. Fuck all these motherfucking globalists. They're trying to push a political and corrupt agenda.
That's good to see. It is about time, and hopefully some more people in a similar position are going to start speaking out on actually what's going on in this world.
Watch this little guy right here. That flash is the moment that an embryo gets fertilized. After that is the craziest stuff that ever happens on the planet, hands down. You had a 1 in 400 quadrillion chance of winning that lottery. As soon as you did, your mom began a mathematical sequence that geometrically reconfigured the matter from dying stars into your body. She wants to make an alien with a tail, but then backpedals into a human. She does this using the placenta, the only organ that can be grown on demand. That one organ can be the heart, lungs, colon, and stomach. They make us a life support spaceship. As you float in 0G, you get epigenetics. These markers are not genes. There's an experiment that scared some mice while there was a scent in the air. As the mice had babies, the babies would get scared when the smell was in the air. This means that experiences get transmitted to the child in an unbroken chain going back all the way to your very first ancestor. Not only that, some of the cells from the baby stay in the mother forever. It's called microchimerism. The mother's DNA and the child's DNA are in the same person. And new research is showing that DNA acts as a fractal antenna, which may explain the link between when mothers feel what their child is feeling. If you're a mother, we do not have the vocabulary to accurately say how amazing you are. For now, I hope that we love you conveys a small fraction of that. Single moms, as always, go there. If you see anything you want on the website, shoot me a message. I will give it to you for free. Happy Mother's Day.
Yeah, the more and more I think about this, it really does. I start to think about how a soul gets into a sperm. Really does. It fascinates me. And that all looks a bit computerized, didn't it? The way he was explaining it. But I don't think all these sperms have souls. Something happens, and it's probably a bit where it turns from an alien look into a human. But yeah, I do need to look into that more.
Florida has hit another level in this shift because that infamous green flash that's given off by the black sun was recorded off in the Gulf Coast. That's crazy, y'all. That is so vibrant. And look at the clouds. Look at all the colors. So check this out. In Destin, Florida, they had some crazy weather anomaly, and that cosmic rainbow, that dark banded rainbow appeared, y'all. Look at the clouds. Y'all see that? It looks like a blue flame in the sky. Fire from the heavens. Look at this, y'all. This is all unedited. Look at that fire up in the sky. And again, that dark banded rainbow. Oh my goodness, what a time to be alive. Y'all, it looks like we're about to go through a portal. We're about to go through another dimension. Am I tripping? Because that's what it is, right? Rainbows are portals. Look at this one off the water. When I'm telling y'all Florida was snapping this strong in, this is amazing. Look at that. Look at that light that's bending off of that. Now, this scene over here, it looks like the sky took on a whole new persona because this is eerie. This is giving me Total Recall vibes. And the clouds are low as heck, y'all. When have you ever seen clouds this low? Look at the sun. Look at the sun. I think this is right before the green flash, but you can see the sun. It looks green. Look at that, y'all. That is crazy. I mean, how do you explain that? This thing is supposed to be 93 million miles away, and why does the sun have wings? See, that's why they lied to y'all and told y'all it was 93 million miles away, because they didn't want you to focus that this ball of plasma, this ball of fire is in the dome with us. Am I tripping, y'all? But I see another outline there. Y'all see that, right? Y'all see another outline? I be telling y'all this thing look like a Pokeball. But nonetheless, this was Florida the past couple of days, y'all. What y'all think about this? This is amazing times to be alive, y'all. Let's continue to get this shift. It's here. Peace in.
Yeah, every day you look up at the sky, there's something different that you can see that's never been in this reality before. It's fascinating. It really is.
You think of Elon Musk and his company SpaceX. SpaceX? More like fake X. You think this guy's for free speech running around the Met Gala with this jacket on? What do those words say? Novus Ordo Seclorum. Now, where have we seen that before? Now, what does this mean? New World Order. New World Age. But if you just think that was a coincidence, which I don't believe in coincidences, I've got way more to show you that this guy is probably not the most honest person. Like, does nobody remember the video of the rat running around on the outside of his rocket that we caught? Just turn your phone for me, would you? What? Did you think we'd forget about this one? Just wait for it. Yeah. One more time in case you missed it. Or you may remember the time that he said he sent an electric car out to orbit the Earth. But there was a glitch. You know it's real because it looks so fake. Remember those words, Elon? Or was it just fake? Like, genuinely, did everyone just think that mannequins can just stay inside of cars floating around, orbiting the Earth in a space vacuum? Like, critically, no one thought about this? But I'm not saying that Fake X and Elon are just putting on a complete show. They do have some real rockets, but when they launch them, they don't do anything good with them. I've got a video of one trying to break the firmament. Turn your phone for me again. While you're watching this video, I want you to think, does this look like water ripples? Does it look like he's like hitting a hard, fast barrier made out of water? Comes off of the firmament, goes right back on, completely scarring the sky. I can't even imagine watching this from the ground in live time. But look at this. Things get really weird right about now. What part of the atmosphere am I supposed to believe does this? Like, this guy literally is telling everyone that AI is going to end the world while making AI better. Yeah, obvious one.
Yeah, all we can do is hope that they're here to do good in this world.
Hopi people claim that we have destroyed the world 3 times before and we're about to do it again. Hopi are one of the oldest known tribes in North America. They're located in Arizona to this day. They call themselves the peaceful people and the keepers of this prophecy. The Hopi even know how the world ended the other 3 times. The first time it was from fire, so probably a solar flare or an asteroid like the dinosaurs. The second time was the Ice Age, so the Ice Age. The third time would have been from a global flood like Noah's flood or Atlantis sinking. How they know this, I don't know. Hopi people claim that each time there would be a few survivors to restart humanity. Why were the Hopi chosen to remember all the past events and carry on these warnings? Well, probably because the rest of us can't even remember our own passwords, let alone planetary cycles. So the Hopi went to the U.S. government to try and tell them the 9 signs to look out for before the world comes to an end. And the U.S. government said, shh, you're ruining the vibe, dude. Like, chill out. It took 40 years until they could speak at the UN and tell them the 9 signs of the prophecy being fulfilled. What got me is some people are saying it's a little bit too late, that we've already had 8 signs fulfilled of the 9. Honestly, some people are saying the 9th sign has already showed up right there on your screen.
I'd love to go around and speak to all the indigenous tribes all around the world and get their take on what has been passed down through their ancestors on what this world is and put it all together in a book, see if it all adds up. Yeah, from a visual point of view, the Earth looks flat and it looks like there's a firmament because of the rainbows. Well, that looks super fast. Super fast.
Bro, what did Pope Leo just do to the world? This weekend, the Pope delivered his very first address in which he appealed to the world's powerful and praying for the miracle of global peace. And then, on Monday, we wake up to the news that India and Pakistan have pulled back from the brink of war and agreed to a ceasefire. The United States and China met in Switzerland and finally agreed to a deal, and both of them will now reduce their tariffs by 114%. The Kurdish military group PKK announced plans to disarm and dissolve after 40 years of fighting with Turkey, which has ended the lives of over 40,000 people. The United States met with Iran and both committed to finding ways to address their differences. And then finally, a number of European leaders gathered in Ukraine to deliver Russia an ultimatum: agree to an unconditional 30-day ceasefire or face massive new sanctions. And then, last night, for the first time in years, Putin has offered to meet Zelensky face-to-face this week in Turkey, an offer that Trump urged Zelensky to immediately accept. All of that, one weekend. So the question is, was the Pope poping, or would this all have happened regardless?
Pretty sure it's all a show. So you could just say it's a lady eating a fly doing her job, but I don't know. Something just doesn't feel right to that as well. Just doesn't feel right.
Did you guys know that there were 3 presidents who were against the COVID vaccine? President of Haiti, the president of Tanzania, and the president of Burundi. Should we ask chatbot GPT whatever happened to those presidents?
President of Haiti, Jovenel Moïse, was assassinated in July 2021. This event has been investigated and received significant international attention.
Please tell me about the president of Burundi.
President of Burundi, Pierre Nkurunziza, passed away in June 2020. His death was officially attributed to heart failure, although there was some speculation and controversy surrounding the circumstances. His passing marked the end of his 15-year rule over the country.
Can you please tell me about the death of the president of Tanzania?
President of Tanzania, John Magufuli, passed away in March 2021. His death was officially attributed to heart complications, but there was some speculation and discussion regarding the circumstances surrounding his passing. His death marked the end of his presidency in Tanzania.
Well, what's the old saying? Smoke without fire? I don't know, but it feels relevant to that. Well, there was only one winner in that race, wasn't there? And it was also a lot cleaner for the ozone layer as well, or whatever you want to call it. There was no trails coming off of that one.
There is a school in Texas that only has 2 hours of class per day, is taught by AI, and has no teachers. And the results are kind of scary. Students at Alpha School are testing in the top 1 to 2% nationally. In fact, it's been so effective that they're now expanding across America to Florida, Arizona, California, and New York. The students are learning academics through AI tutors, which give them a one-on-one personalized curriculum. And after their short morning academic block, the rest of the school day is spent learning real-world skills like public speaking, entrepreneurship, and financial literacy. They also built a school in Brownsville, which is one of the poorest school districts in the country, and the students there demonstrated 2.1 times faster learning compared to national norms. So the question is, should more schools around the country adopt this approach, or is this something that could never work for larger schools?
Sounds like the perfect school to me. I will say though, you didn't need to wait for AI to do that. They could have done all the better options of what they should be learning in school way before that, and still had real teachers.
The timeline goes as follows. So in 1955, Operation Deep Freeze starts. And when Admiral Richard Byrd gets back, he comes on live television and tells us we found more land the size of North America. They quickly start NASA, and President Eisenhower calls over the Nazi traitors in Operation Paperclip to start the upper space mind control program. Don't look out there. Look up here. Look, everybody. We're going to the moon. Then, in 1959, 12 nations started the Antarctic Treaty, followed by 42 more nations where they have decided you or I cannot travel or explore any part of Antarctica, South or Pacific parallel, without military clearance, without the aid of a guided tour. Do you really think that this is just a coincidence?
More. Imagine they find more land. Imagine there is more land out there. More to explore, more to reside, more resources. You think they tell you and I about it?
Countless Americans. Admiral Byrd, you've been to both the North Pole and the South Pole. Is there any unexplored land left on this earth that might appeal to adventurous young Americans?
Yes, there is. And not up around the North Pole because it's getting crowded up there now because they find out it's really usable, not only to live in, but militarily. But strangely enough, there's left in the world today an area as big as the United States that's never been seen by a human being. And that's beyond the pole on the other side of the South Pole from Middle America. And I think it's quite astonishing that there should be an area as big as that unexplored.
This is a tremendous
So
challenge.
there's a lot of adventure left down at the bottom of the world.
Admiral, do you hope to see that?
I do.
Now, I know there's a lot of maps that do talk about cities underneath the ice cap, and even on the other side of these ice caps. And there's even maps out there, which I am going to show one. So could these maps show beyond the ice wall? And also, are there passages where you can get beyond the ice barrier as well? So let me know what you think about Antarctica. And if there was an exploration that you could get on, would you go to Antarctica?
Would they tell us? Absolutely not.
I found this footage extremely interesting, and the reason why is it's because it's something you typically see in like a time travel movie where a time traveler goes to a specific location to leave something and then disappears. Well, take a look at this footage. It was captured by a young man named Adam. He was out at the trails with his father hiking. In this specific instance, he was alone when he saw something weird, what appears to be a fully dressed, suited up man that looked like something out of the 80s. And it just gave him the creeps. He knew something was off. Continued watching him. Noticed something even weirder was that he left this briefcase. So he decided to open it. But it leaves more questions as to what was inside. Take a look at this footage. Comment below and tell me what you think.
I'm not even kidding. Passed someone on the trail, like a guy. He looked like he was like from the 80s. He was wearing a full suit that like looked like he was from the 80s. And I was like, ew, I don't like that. I got a weird vibe from him. And look at what I just found. Is this not like terrifying? Should I open it?
Pretty sure that was a time traveler from the 80s. And on that note, peeps, end of the show. Thank you for watching. Appreciate the support, and I'll see you tomorrow.